Over to you, Rick.
Well, hey, good evening, everybody, or good morning, everybody, wherever you're at in the world today. Thanks for being with us tonight. We've got a special treat for you. We've moved our opportunity call, over to Tuesday night, as you are aware. I know you've all received information. I saw a good number of guests coming in here right before the top of the hour, so welcome to the call. We're here to do this call for you guys. We moved it over now to every Tuesday night. We're going to be here 8 o'clock Central Time. And, this call is designed for you to bring and invite your guests from time to time. We have special guests, and I say we, the triumvirate here between myself and my partner, Julie, and a very, very dear good friend of ours over in one of the Greek islands, a lady by the name of Mandy Elliott, are here tonight to host this call. And we have a special guest. Without any further ado, I'm going to kick this over to Mandy over in Greece and have her come on and introduce our special guest and give you a little bit of heads up about what's going on with this forum. So, Mandy, over to you.
Thank you very much, Rick. Yeah, this is really, really exciting, and I'm loving that we're having the Tuesday opportunity calls, because it gives people plenty of time to review this, get their questions answered, and get started. And by the end of the week, their business can already be building out. So what we've got here is a full how it works opportunity overview, and we're really honoured and lucky today. We've got the business owner, Mr. Bobby Kanata, on the line, and so he's going to talk us through how this works. So with that, the floor is yours, Bobby.
All right, very good, Mandy. And if I understand it right, we're going to take, not that it's going to be too long, maybe between 20, 25 minutes, and we're going to take a more of a full approach to this, because there is an 8.5-minute video on the websites, and of course that gives you a pretty nice overview, but we want to just go a little more in depth and make sure that everyone grasps it and you're ready to get started. So with that said, let me go through the slideshow and we'll take it from there. So what is the EDU Swarm? Well, we call it the future of learning and earning. And our mission, guys, is really through teamwork and entrepreneurship to really build something that's going to last and give people a great opportunity. And really, that's one of our other goals, is to have a longevity built into this, because what good's an opportunity if it's only going to be here for a few years? We want this to be here for many years to come. Now, what is the EDU Swarm? Well, two parts to this. Really, we're an educational company involved in the multi-billion-dollar e-learning market, and you're going to hear a little bit more about our products. But we also have a business opportunity where we're going to show you how to earn income through the form of Bitcoin by simply selling our memberships through our affiliate rewards program, okay? Now, before we get into the products, I just want to explain a little bit about Bitcoin, because you heard the word, now you're going, what the heck's Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin, guys, is a form of digital currency, or what's also called cryptocurrency. And of course, many experts feel this is absolutely going to change the world's economy. Now, these same experts are saying that people should have some of this cryptocurrency, and especially Bitcoin, as it's the granddaddy of cryptocurrency, part of their financial portfolio, because we really don't know what the potential of this could do from going up in value. So a lot of people feel that people should get this into their portfolio of investments. Now, you can buy it on the open market just like a stock, but obviously it's up there in dollars. So why not just earn it through our affiliate rewards program? And that's how we pay you. Now, we pay you in Bitcoin, but the last bullet says you can keep it in your account. Now, this would be your own account, like your own bank account. We call it a wallet, where if the future, if it grows in the future, you get that future gain. Or, of course, you have the option to always convert it into the earnings or the currency of your choice. So that's how simple this is. But again, we're going to pay you in Bitcoin. You decide what you want to do with that once it's in your possession, okay? Now, getting back to the products, this is just a quick slide to show you how massive the e-learning market is and how fast it's growing in the world. Now, our library is pretty impressive. We have a magnitude of training courses, tutorials, audio podcasts, ebooks, games, and a lot more. And we're always adding to this library of ours. And of course, the topics are very vast. Everything from social media marketing, email marketing. Of course, we teach you about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, but there's also fun stuff on there like cooking and card tricks and exercise programs. So there's just a whole host of video courses that you're buying. That's actually the product that you're buying when you come into EDU Swarm. So again, how do you earn Bitcoin? Well, of course, you're going to be selling these e-learning memberships, very simply. Now we'll get into the pricing of that a little bit later, I should say. But let me give you some highlights to why we set this up the way we did. And I think, before we go into the actual program, here's some high points to this. We wanted to have something that was affordable to everyone. So our product packs start as low as 0.01 Bitcoin. And of course, in today's market, that's under $100. Okay, so very affordable for everyone. We also made it a one-time product purchase, meaning there's no monthly reorders or anything you have to do. This is just a one-time out-of-pocket, which of course appeals to the masses, okay, being such a low entry point and at the same time one time. We also have it as a virtual product, right? It's an e-learning class, which means it's just done online. So right away we can open up the whole world to this opportunity. Because why? It's nothing we have to, send potions and lotions across into other countries and deal with regulatory. This is all done on the computer. So right away, we already have people all over the world involved in the Swarm already. We're just getting started. Okay. Now, what you're also going to see when we go through this, there's a lot of movements and 5 different pay stages we're going to pay you on. And here's what you have to understand. Everything is fully automated. You don't have to worry about anything. We want you to understand it, of course, how the movements take place, but you don't have to do anything, click anything in your back office. It's all done by the company. Okay, now the last couple of bullets, we have a team approach to this, meaning that this is a cycler, and we're going to show you how it works. And there's been some other cycle programs out there, but they don't quite have this team fill pattern, which really we feel is giving you a much, much higher probability of filling in the boards and, of course, your success in earning. And the last thing, this is all based on you bringing in just a minimum of 2 product sales. Now, we think it's so powerful, you should keep making membership sales over and over again, but at least 2 sales is what this is all predicated on, okay? So let's get into the graphics a little bit, and hopefully, you watch it a few times. Don't try to grasp it all the first time, but after you see it a few times, it'll get more and more clearer. So this is a 3-step process where you're going to go from a bottom position to a middle to a top, and that's when you earn your commissions. Now, to get through this process, we're going to be making sales along these little boards, as we call them, and they're nothing but 2x2 grids, but you have to go through this in a 3-step process. So basically, we're going to fill these bottom positions, and then you're going to earn your Bitcoin. Now, we say it takes an average of 10 sales. Now, I know what you're saying, Bob. I'm looking across this. I see 12 positions. Well, what you're going to have to understand later, and I'll explain it to you, depending on when you first come onto a board, you're going to fill in any one of these 4 positions, and that's where the average of 8 to 10 11 to 8 sales comes in, where we average it to just about 10 sales. Okay, so just the way I explain this to people, we're going through a 3-step process where you're working as a team, and as you make 10 sales as a group effort, you're going to earn your commissions. It's that simple, okay? So let's break it down a little bit further. Now, once you do this is the process. It's called a cycler for a reason. This process I just explained to you briefly, it's where you go through this 3-step process, and then you start again and again, earning over and over again in that stage. But what you're going to quickly see, we have 5 different pay stages where you're going to be earning anywhere from 0.02 Bitcoin on stage 1. And of course, you'll have a position on every stage as we work through the process, and eventually all the way through earning 0.4 Bitcoin when you finish a cycle on stage 5. So it's very, very exciting that you can earn simultaneously on all these 5 stages. So let me walk you through how we go through this process. And again, this is more of a training video, but it's also, for new people that really want to grasp it. The first thing you have to understand, and you'll understand why in a second, every board that begins has already 3 members participating. And the goal of these 3 members is to do what? Fill these bottom 4 positions through what? Product sales, okay? And what you're going to see is that it doesn't matter how this starts to unfold. In this case, your enroller brings you in. You're always going to go on your enroller's board when you're ready to come on board, of course. They brought you to the table. Now, again, it doesn't matter who brings in who. As you can see, even in this case, this woman in this position brought someone on board. Now, they didn't drop down below like a lot of cyclists. The mission is to fill these bottom 4 positions. So right away, the next person, the last person comes in right here, the board is filled. Now, if you read down below, what happens is the top person is paid, and you'll understand this. They're going to come off the board. Remember, it's a cycler. They're going to come back in following their enroller and start the process over again. But what you can see, if this position's gone, this creates 2 new boards. And we're not going to worry about these 3 people. They're going to be doing the same thing that you're doing in your board, but we're going to just concentrate on your grid. So as you can see, if this person's gone, the board split. Let's look at your enroller, you and Mr. Purple here, and watch how this now formulates into step 2. And as you can see, because that top person went, your enroller is now at the top. You occupy one of the middle positions, and you guys are just to do the same thing we just showed you. Doesn't matter who brings in who. When these 4 positions are filled, the board splits again, enroller is paid, board splits in 2, and you're going to be at the top with these 2 gray shaded figures working with you, starting the board as we showed you with 3 participants. You do it one more time, guys. Doesn't matter who makes the product sale. Once it's completed, now you got 4 more people across the bottom. You're paid your Bitcoin, and you have now completed what we call a pay cycle. So just in recap, it's you came on board at the bottom somewhere. You went through you filled these positions, you moved to a middle, filled these positions, moved to a top, did it one more time, you paid your Bitcoin, okay? Now, I just want to explain one thing here, how we told you this team process works and how powerful it is. As you can see, when every board started with 3 people, when you come on board, guys, as you can see, it's you and these 3, meaning 4 people trying to make 3 sales. When Mr. Purple comes in, it's 5 people trying to make just 2 sales. And finally, when the 6th person joined, it's 6 trying to just make 1 last product sale. So you see the probability of moving through these boards at a rapid pace is really right there and ready to roll. It's very hard for this to stall when you have a group sales effort trying to make these 4 bottom sales, okay? And that's how every board works. Now, with that said, step 1, step 2, step 3, and you cash out. Okay? Now, when the cycle's complete, we're going to show you, just to remind you, the 2 things that happen. The first thing is called recycle or re-entry. You're going to finish the process, and remember, wherever your enroller is, he might be in a different position, you're going to follow him back on the same stage. So if we're talking about a stage, remember, we have 5 pay stages. Let's just say this is stage 1. You're going to go back to his new board. You're going to come somewhere in the bottom, depending on, remember, we fill left to right, so depending on what position's open, and you're going to start the process over and over and over again. What also happens, you're going to keep earning on that stage. But remember, we have 5 pay stages. So let's talk about what we call advancement. What happens is the first time you complete a pay cycle on any stage, you also gain a position on the next stage. So you go through stage once, you paid some Bitcoin, you get a position on stage 2. Now you're on both stages. You don't leave one to go to the other. You're actually on both stages now. When you go through stage 2 one time, you're on stages 1, 2, and 3. Go to 3 one time, you're on 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, when you complete stage 4 for the first time, you now occupy a position and you're earning Bitcoin simultaneously on all 5 pay stages. Very impressive. And look what it is, guys, as we showed you. Stage 1, the ongoing payout is 0.02. Stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and stage 5, all the way up to 0.4 Bitcoin. Okay, guys? Now, coming in for a landing. So as we said, showing these payouts on all 5 stages, well, the only thing we want to impress here is how fast can you do it. And guys, I'll tell you, depending on how, I'll show you how these positions are filled through reentry and advancement, and of course new sales. You could be going through these things hourly, daily, monthly, or weekly, I should say, and even monthly. Now, who cares if it takes you a month to make this type of Bitcoin. Remember, you'll be earning on all 5 stages simultaneously. Now, the last thing, as I said, this is a little bit of a training video, so I want to lock you into 2 concepts I'm just going to briefly go over with you. One is the 10-team sales approach. Now, I talked about it briefly in the beginning, but I want you to understand, why do we say 10-team sales? Because what it's going to take, depending on when you come into a board, remember, you always come in the bottom position. So if you take this far left position, you and your team, remember, it's a team effort, have got to complete these 3 sales and, of course, 4 and 4. That would be a maximum of 11. Now, if you're lucky enough, and you remember, you can come in one of these middles also, but if you're lucky enough to hit this last position, the minute you come on board, the board is going to break and you're going to move to a middle. So what do you really have to do as far as bringing on people? You and your team have only got to fill 8 positions. So somewhere between 11 and 8 is what it takes to go through a pay cycle, again, depending on what position you occupy when you start the process. So what do we do, guys? Best way to explain it, it takes an average of 10-team sales. Now, the last thing I want to show you is what are the 3 powerful ways that these boards and these positions are being filled along these this bottom row. Well, first of all, we already told you, new team sales. Every time someone comes in and joins for the first time, they're going to come on stage 1 or 2 in our process, and they're going to take a bottom position. Well, what else happens, guys? This is really powerful once you understand it. Remember, everybody recycles or re-enters back on their enroller's board. So here's a quick illustration. Let's say you come on a board and you've been doing this a while, and these 3 people, and let's just assume each one of these 3 plus yourself has already enrolled 5 individuals. They're somewhere in their own matrices going through the process. Well, the minute, so that'd be 5, 10, 15, you got 20 people working the process. Well, if any one of those 20 people finish their process, meaning they get paid on their stage 3, they're going to come back into a new board, right? What? Looking for their enroller. Well, now you've got 4 people. So any of those 20 people join the process again, they're going to fill up these 3 positions. So the reentry process, and it's really going to get easier and easier as time goes on with the Swan, because right now we're basically new. But can you imagine when all your members on the boards have multiple people they've enrolled, and how fast those people are going to be following them back onto the process? And the last thing, of course, is the advancement one time. So if this is a stage 2 process, well, remember, you got all the people finishing stage 1 up here, and what are they going to do? The minute they finish, they're going to look for their enroller on the next stage, and that's also going to help perpetuate and fill these bottom positions. So again, you don't have to understand it all, but just know there's 3 powerful mechanisms working to help fill these boards up on a rapid process for you. Okay. Now, last thing, and I'm just going to show you an overview. If my chart pulls up, I'm not sure I have it, but the marketing website, guys, when you come on board, we have a first-class marketing website where there's 2 avenues you can take. One, of course, is your affiliate center, which I'll show you in a second, and the other one is your product library. When you click on that, it brings you right to all your courses, whether it's your video courses, your ebooks, your podcasts. They'll all be laid out in multiple categories, as we mentioned before. Now, of course, when you click on your back office, you're going to have 3 options. You have your promotional tools, which is a lot of our social marketing material we put in here. You have your affiliate training. We're going to actually show you how you go about, and even though this is not a complex business, we want to give you some nice tips on how to build your business. And of course, this is the back office, which really brings you to your dashboard and really how you manage your business. The first thing you're going to see is that we're going to show you exactly how much Bitcoin you've earned from day 1 and exactly in what stage you earned it and how many times you cycled to earn it in each stage. And of course, these will all add up to your total. Okay. Now on the drop-down menu, you're going to hit your pay stages. And what that's going to bring you to, it's really cool. We want you 24/7 to see exactly where you stand. So you'll be able to pick any pay stage that you're on. In this case, it's stage 5. And you'll say, okay, here I am. And in this case, you're at the top. You might be in some stages in the bottom, the middle, or in this case, the top. And you'll see how many more sales have to come on board. Remember, it's not just new sales. It's the reentry or also the advancement. But once these 3 positions are taken, you're going to cash out, in this case, and get paid again. So 24/7, you can always see where you're at. We also show you a board history. So if you want to see how you finished off a board, where you started, how you moved to the middle, the top, you can actually see these people in those same little 3 pods that I was showing you and how it all filled out. It's really kind of cool. We give you all that technology. Last thing I just want to show you, there's 2 entry points when you make a decision to come on board, and don't make this into a big decision, it's so simple, is zero point 0.01 Bitcoin or 0.3. The advantages are, very simply, you get more of a limited courses and of training. Here you get a little bit more, and of course you get even more and more as you open up each different level, or stage, I should say. But here's the big advantage. By coming in with 0.01 Bitcoin, you only get that first position on stage 1, where if you come in with 0.03 Bitcoin, not only do you have a position on stage 1, but you also occupy a position on stage 2. So it's a quicker way to start earning your commissions, guys. So I'm going to see if I can pull up the full 1-page chart to bring this all to fruition. But just remember, guys, don't make this into a $20,000 decision for one main reason. It's not. It's simply as low as what? 0.01 Bitcoin, which is under $100. Just get started. You'll learn as you go. And the biggest thing is, we want you to come on board with the concept that you're going to be able to make 2 product sales. Don't just come in and throw in a little Bitcoin at this. This is not one of those, crazy things that we promise you some convoluted minimum guarantee. No, this is something that's based on mathematics, but it's all based on bringing in 2 people, and that opens up your commission earnings. So with that said, guys, we thank you for being part of the Swarm, where we're really helping people succeed. Now, Rick, I don't know if I can bring up my chart. I don't know. You can't see that now, right? You can't see the chart?
Well, at the moment we've just got this, so what you can do is click on change screen share, so you can stop that share and then open up a new share.
Well, I don't know how to do that. I'm seeing my desktop. I can't get back to the, I don't think I see, wait a minute, resume, new share. Let me see. Okay, new share, here we go. Let me pull up this, okay. Let me see if this will be the last thing, guys. Can you see that now?
We can, yes.
Now, Mandy, by the way, make sure we put this up on our secondary site, because this is on the main site. This, guys, we drafted this because we know that you'll be explaining it to people. And really what it is, it's a 1-page download that really encompasses the whole compensation plan. And it's really, once you understand it, it's a nice way to explain it to people as you're following up with them. So real quick, I'll just explain it to you. These are the 2 packages, bronze and silver, that you can come in with. And there's the amount of Bitcoin I told you. And as I already showed you, the bronze package just gives you a position somewhere, again, on stage 1, where the silver package, you get a position on stage 1, but also on stage 2, right? So now you're on both. And here's why, and let me go through how this works in your Bitcoin actual earnings. So what happens? You go through this 3-step process, and you earn your Bitcoin. Now imagine that, first thing that happens is you always recycle back, start the process again, and you keep earning over and over. Now, the only thing I have to explain to you here is on every stage, there's a partial Bitcoin and then a full Bitcoin. Well, the first time you go through this, assuming you didn't buy your silver package and have a position on stage 2 already, what do we have to do? We have to personally help you buy your position. See, this is a product purchase for stage 2. Remember, it has to be funded because we're paying the person at the top of the board. So the first time through this process, you only earn a partial Bitcoin. In this case, it's 0.005. But then what happens? Now you get your position on both stages, but every time over and over again on stage 1, it's 0.02 Bitcoin. That process just repeats itself, guys, on every stage. Go through stage 2 once, partial Bitcoin. Every time you recycle and earn over and over, 0.04 Bitcoin. Now you're on stages 1, 2, and 3. Go through stage 3 one time, partial Bitcoin, get placed on stage 4 also. Every time thereafter, 0.1 Bitcoin. Stage 4, go through it just one time, partial Bitcoin, get lowered on to stage 5. Every time after on stage 4, over and over again, 0.2 Bitcoin. That's pretty hefty money we're getting into. And the last stage, of course, stage 5, there is no advancement to stage 6. So what happens here, there is no partial Bitcoin. You get the full the 0.4 Bitcoin over and over and over again. So guys, where else can you start something with Bitcoin? A very exciting currency that we don't know where it's going to go. It could go to the moon, where you can get started for as low as 0.01 Bitcoin. And through our simple advancement process where you don't have to do any of this, it's all done by the company, you're eventually going to have a position on all 5 stages. And look what you're doing, guys. As you go through cycles, independently, of course, they're all going to be working at a different pace, but they all work the same way. So every time you complete a pay cycle on one of these stages, you're going to be earning anywhere from 0.02 Bitcoin all the way down to 0.04. Very exciting. Share this with as many people as you can. It's simple. We've got everything in place, guys, and all we need is people like yourself to run with us. Okay, so thank you for your time. I'll turn it over to you, Rick or Mandy, if you want to add some last comments, and we'll call it a day. Okay.
Well, yeah, great. Hey, Bobby, that was fantastic. And just to reiterate what Bobby said, guys, this is a one-time out-of-pocket program, and it's the most simplistic thing in the world once you're involved. But getting through the initial phase of marketing is the key to anything. And we've got a fantastic website, great content, great back office. But keep in mind this one thing, and I'm going to turn this back to Mandy to share with you, what we have already done to, further your efforts as a new member, as a guest when you see what your new member has now. We put together a club system, if you will. And there's nothing there for you to buy, and there's nothing there for you to sell. All it is a great compilation of information about everything that Bobby just gave you. It's in one place, and it's like click and play, click and play, click and play. So if you want to know, how do you buy a Bitcoin? How do you do this? How do you do that? There's a picture right there of what your actual site looks like. And you see the rewards comp plan that Bobby just went through with you, and about the company, about Bitcoin, about blockchain. Blockchain technology, guys, is what we're all about. Learning what the future is what you want to do. Stay ahead of the curve, don't get behind it. But we've got this in addition to the fantastic website and all the tools that Bobby just outlined. But I'm going to turn this back over to Mandy and have her take a minute or two and tell you what you have here, how you can access it, and talk about our upcoming schedule. So Mandy, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rick. Yeah, we're very fortunate because we've got an amazing main company website with lots of information on. And what we've also done is created what we call this information site, which does all the talking through for you. Rick just said it. It's got a homepage. It's got about EDU Swarm. It's got full overview, and we keep updating the videos. So this video recording that we've just made now, that can appear on the site in the rewards comp plan, and so everything here, we just keep the information updated. So when you join EDU Swarm and you want to share information with people, it's not like you've got to study and learn all this information and then sort of go into brain freeze mode. We've got it here for you. You can share people your link. We will create you one of these websites. You've got your main EDU Swarm website that happens instantly. That you send the Bitcoin over for either your bronze or your silver package, and then this site we will create your link for this within the next 24 hours. So you've got everything, and you liaise with the person who introduced you. We call them either your sponsor or your enroller. You've got a great leadership team as well. With open arms, open hearts, wanting to help you. Facebook group that we will invite you to join, where you'll see all the news and updates. And we do these opportunity calls every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central USA time. And we will be starting to do some more calls at different times to suit with global time zones, because we are fully aware. For me, I'm over in Greece. It's 4 a.m. in the morning at the moment. So, we know that we have to look at being more realistic with global time zones. And then on Saturdays, for EDU Swarm members, or as we call them, the Swarmies, we host training and education calls, and they can be about all sorts. They can be about how to market on LinkedIn, or greater insight as to what the blockchain is. And we will have some guests on there as well, training on specific areas. So that's what we have. So Tuesdays, a live opportunity call. Saturdays, which is It's an earlier time, actually. Rick, I'm not sure what it is Central Time. I think it's 11 a.m. Central Time. I know it's 7 p.m. my time over in Greece, so it's morning time USA.
Correct.
And afternoon and evening, afternoon Europe, and for people in the southern hemisphere, it's sort of towards the midnight hour. It's absolutely so lovely, so great. I'm pleased that I'm here. We look forward to welcoming you. And Rick, if you just want to wind this up, I think we've had an absolute brilliant presentation. I want to thank you and Bobby, plus everyone else who's attended this call.
Well, thank you very much, Mandy. And once again, folks, we're here for you. We are 110% committed to this forum. If anytime you need help, all you got to do is ask for it. Special thanks reaching out to Bobby Canada. He did a great job tonight outlining our program for you. Fun, simple, and easy. That's what it is. It's a 3-step process, guys. You wash it, you rinse it, and then you repeat it. And just keep on cooking. Hey, wherever you're in the world tonight, thanks very much for joining us. May God bless you until next time. Bye for now.